participate in any contest or in any lottery, or you might receive a call coming from an individual saying that your credit card is already eligible for a card upgrade. Even the expiration date is still 5 years. Next slide, please. Or while at home, you will be receiving an offer of a job wherein you're just going to receive some packages or transfer of monies, not knowing that you are already engaged in fraudulent acts or money laundering. On your way to work, you invited some of your colleagues for breakfast, and because your card is still working, you use your card and pay your bills, not knowing that there's such thing as skimming, and they could steal all the account information at the back of your magstripe dun sa credit card mo. And those information could be sent elsewhere or around the world or in other countries and create a clone card of your card. So right now, what is the skimming capital of Asia? What country? Welcome, sir. By the way, for those expats, I know you already realized that it's more fun in the Philippines. But what is the skimming capital? What country is the skimming capital of Asia right now, sir? Don't know. I will let you guess, and I'm going to give you also a mouse pad. Right, sir. I'm going to give you later on after my presentation. Where am I, ma'am? So, packagely in love. You go to your office, you receive a love letter saying that this individual, a former military man, is in love with you. Question, can you really fall in love virtually? You, ma'am. Can you fall in love virtually, even without meeting a guy? Let me give you an example, ma'am. A 21-year-old visited our office complaining, and she was actually very depressed and crying. He told us that he's going to file a complaint against her former boyfriend. How long have you been in love with each other? I asked her. For 5 years, sir. Then, where did you meet? Facebook. Did you meet this guy personally? Not yet. So, do you think they were really in love? No. So, when you receive a communication on your spare time during work hours, do you think that individual is really professing his love to you? No. What will happen if he will say that he loved you so much and he's going to send you packages containing iPhone 7, laptops, MacBooks with Windows platform, and $5,000? Will you believe that he is really in love with you? No, not yet. What will happen if someone will call you saying that there's a package here that we received and you should pick it up. But before you pick it up, you must deposit a certain amount to an account for tax purposes, importation fees, and everything. Will you believe that individual? No. How come there are so many victims with this kind of scheme? Why, ma'am? Why do you think? They are not aware. So I'm very thankful I have this opportunity to explain this kind of scheme that is victimizing so many Filipino women in the provinces as well as in Metro Manila. So, again, can you fall in love virtually? Because a heart and a human being is a physical entity. Next slide, ma'am. Again, on your spare time at work, ang dami mo nga talagang spare time. You receive an invitation from a modeling firm. Dito naman ako titingin. You receive an invitation from a modeling firm inviting you for a $50,000 package per month. All you have to do is send a photograph of you with wearing a very sexy attire for initial evaluation. And considering that the agency is out of the country and because of the time difference, you must do some live interviews online with them when you get home. So you go online, then they're going to live interview you. What is their scheme, ma'am? What? It's called sextortion. Once you send them a photograph, and with that live interview, supposed live interview, they will instruct you to do some very compromising gestures. And you wouldn't know that they are already downloading the same. And with those photographs and videos, they will continue to blackmail you to go all the way. And with those videos, they're going to ask you to what? To send them money so they could send you the original copy of the downloaded videos. That is called sextortion, ma'am. That is happening right now, that there are so many victims to this. If your employee is, knock on wood, if your employee will be victimized with this, they could do anything. They could make her steal money. They could make her steal information. They could even instruct her to commit suicide. So be very, very careful. Warn your children about this and do not engage in live interviews. No, not in virtual interviews, I mean. Next slide, ma'am. You have heard about this, but it's still going on. They inherited $500 million and they need to claim it. All you need to do is to invest some money on them. If they ask this question, if they're really equipped with the $500 million in the bank, why will they need additional investment just in order to claim that amount? Because largeness of the scale deceives us. There are so many victims to this because of the human nature of what? Greed. Next slide, ma'am. The e-capture. If you have your own businesses and you are expecting an amount of money coming from your clients or customers, they might be receiving an email supposedly coming from you, and that email will contain your email address, instructing that your client that you have supposedly changed a bank because for audit purposes, and your client needs to transfer that amount to another account. This is happening, and there are so many victims to this kind of scheme. It's called e-capture. But if you're going to look closely, is there a difference between these two email addresses? Ano, sir? Yes, sir. There will always the first telltale sign of an email capture scam or scheme is the minute change in the email address. You ask your client if you received the exact email address that they have been receiving before, and they will realize that there are minute changes to the email address. This could be done by keylogging to your account, or this could be done by the syndicate guessing your account or hacking into your account or sending malicious softwares to your account. It's called keyloggers. So when you receive a communication with a link, please do not click it immediately because there's such thing as keyloggers. And it could install that software for them to remotely access or monitor your key punches. Next slide, ma'am. Any question? No question. A friend in need scheme. If you receive an email coming from a friend saying that they are somewhere in a God-forbidden country and all of their belongings were stolen and they are in dire need of your help, kindly send money to my account so I could buy some tickets and to go home. This is a friend in need. How many of you have experienced this? An email supposedly coming from a friend. So what did you do, ma'am? You sent money? Can I also get your email address, ma'am? Yeah. This is happening. So many victims. Next slide, ma'am. Identity theft. Who is this actress? Who? Jennifer Aniston. Let me tell you about the story of Francis. He worked with a call center before and he was very, very articulate, very, very well trained. He sounds like a woman with an English accent, and because of his talent, he managed to go into phone sex. And because he's so talented, very good, he was rewarded with the personal identification details of Jennifer Aniston. Everything, bank accounts, credit card details, date of birth, everything. So he was able to use the identity of Jennifer Aniston for 1 year. And he bought so many items around the world to be delivered here in the Philippines. Question, why is it that Jennifer Aniston did not discover that her account is being used for more than 1 year? Why? Because movie stars, big stars, do not see their billing statements. It's only their assistants who are studying or examining those billing statements. And they do not have the time to ask Jennifer Aniston whether those are legitimate purchases made by the actress. Next slide, ma'am. This is Francis. This is Francis during his arrest. He had one of the most successful fraudulent careers here in the Philippines. And where is he now? Next slide, ma'am. Sige, Google mo yung pangalan mo. You could not see your name in Wikipedia, but his name is in Wikipedia. It's not that I'm saying that crime does pay. Ultimately, it will not pay. It will haunt you. Although he is very successful right now, his past is still haunting him. Next slide, ma'am. Ilang question na ba yan? Dalawa na, no? Ay. Question again, question. Can you totally eliminate the possibility of being victimized by cybercrime? Even if you, call on Superman. Can you totally eliminate that possibility? Yes, ma'am. Hey, the one, yes, ma'am, the one with glasses. Can you totally eliminate it, ma'am? No. Why? What, ma'am? Digital, yes, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am, what will you say if I will tell you that you could totally eliminate it? But the only way is to shut down your business, do not use the internet, do not use any device, stay at home and sleep. That's the only way. But there are, although we could not totally eliminate it, we could mitigate it. How? Subukan ko, ma'am. How? Next slide. Let me tell you about the story of a mouse in a farmhouse being taken care of by a farm lady. One day, that farm lady saw a mouse, so she decided to buy a mouse trap. When she went to back to the farm, the mouse saw the trap and went to his friend, the chicken. The mouse said, "Chicken, chicken, there's a mouse trap in the farmhouse." The chicken replied, "Well, it doesn't concern me because I'm big and that is not a chicken trap." He was crying, very depressed again, went to his friend, the pig. "Pig, friend, there's a mouse trap in the farmhouse." And the pig replied the same thing. Unfortunately, when the farm lady was laying the trap, she was bitten by a snake. Kaya lang walang time kanina, that's why I was not able to download an icon of snake. She was bitten, she got sick, and she wanted to sip some soup. What did she do? She made tinola. She made tinola, but unfortunately, she perished. And they wanted to feed the mourners and non-mourners who went to her wake. So what did they do? Butcher the pig. Who survived? The mouse. What's the moral of the story, ma'am? It will be on the next slide. Thank you. So record all near misses of consummated cyber attacks to your enterprise, to your company. Establish repository of cases. Attend gathering like this to realize that cybercrime is not industry specific. And we could all be affected by it. So when you want to go to international conventions, this will be the main reason. Because the farther you go for a training, the greater the predictions that it might affect your business. Next slide. We were talking about some mitigating measures on how to address cyber crimes in your business. One of them is actually policy. In your respective companies, you must review. You must have IT policies, access control policies, password retention policy, laptop loss policy. Those are the policies that should be in place. And those are the policies that you could use when you encounter cybercrime within your business enterprise. Next slide, ma'am. Courteous attention. What is courteous attention? We were handling so many agents before, and there were so many fraudulent turn-ins. There were so many false documents being submitted to support an application. So what did we do? Because we were handling thousands of employees at that time. So what did we do? We implemented courteous attention. We went to their floors almost daily and showed them that we were there. We were there. We just greeted them. We just said hello, because we found out that when you're doing something, falsifying something in your work area, you will be thinking that we are investigating something. And when you are not doing anything, you're just performing your regular job, that will be a compliment and moral booster for them. The higher ups are actually visiting us and they are concerned. How could you utilize this using your intranet, using your infrastructure? You could use courteous attentions as a message to remind them that you care for them. It's just, for example, just a pop-up. Be reminded of their cybercrime is happening that could affect the company and you. Just a simple pop-up will do. So, in effect, that is a courteous attention. Yes, ma'am? So when you are already a victim of cybercrime in a personal level or in your company, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It will be a tricky situation because whenever a company experience cybercrime, emotions are high. And we have the common mistake of focusing on imprisonment. Because we have this ikulong attitude, let's immediately coordinate with law enforcement and put them behind bars. That is the common approach. But you should be very, very careful. You have to balance between the benefit of prosecuting your employees and balance between prosecuting your employees and at the same time, the effect of the image of that investigation. And also, you have to consider the effect on the morale of the employees. If your company will experience cybercrime and you immediately engage the participation of law enforcement, what are they going to do? They will immediately go to your office and start talking with your employees. Even if a employee fraudster indeed committed fraudulent acts in your company, he could reverse the sympathy by engaging the power of the social media. That employee could easily claim that he was harassed or she was harassed, she was not given due process, etc. And he will be gaining sympathy with all other employees. That is the effect of a wrongly addressed cybercrime issue within a company. Next slide, ma'am. So when you encounter a cybercrime, you have to determine whether it is time for you to assemble a Charles team or an Avengers team composed of controller, internal audit, legal, IT administrator, security. You assemble a team and you discuss on how you're going to approach. Not immediately decide that we're going to refer this matter with law enforcement. You discuss the pros and cons. Again, we should avoid the ikulong attitude or the imprisonment attitude as soon as we discover fraudulent activities within a company using your own infrastructure. For example, you discover that an employee is stealing personal information as well as card information and compiling all of this and selling it to individuals in other countries. What will be your immediate reaction to this? How are you going to address it? The first few days, first few hours, when you discover fraud, is the most critical time in addressing it. Because once you already coordinate with law enforcement immediately without gathering all the facts, then you could not accurately gauge on how to approach or could not accurately formulate an approach to that incident. Next slide, please. Know your purpose. Prepare a checklist on what you're going to do. Get as much detail as you could and identify employees of interest. In cybercrime cases, because it could be done remotely sometimes, you have to gather details as much as possible. But as we have mentioned, identity theft is a reality in the virtual world as well as in the physical world. Next slide. Leverage on the power of the internet. Whenever you identify a person of interest or employee of interest, use the open sources alternatives in gathering information about that person or about that employee that you have identified. Because employees, whenever they have stolen something from the company, they will be flaunting their newfound financial success. They could not resist this. So they will be uploading some photos of their travel, some photos of their purchases. The mindset is that they will hide it. No, they will flaunt it. Use the power of the internet. Use the power of open source alternatives. Everything is out there. You only need to know how to look accurately, how to interpret those information and assemble this information in creating one whole information about that subject. Next slide, ma'am. Just a hint, whenever you search for something, use search operators. Do not just punch in, for example, basic concept. Punch in basic concept because of all the concept, all the database that is out there having the word basic or concept, it will be searched, it will be visited, it will be navigated. But when you use search operators, you limit it with that specific two words that you are searching for. Next slide, ma'am. When you are searching for Jaguar speed, try to Google it. It will pop up so many search results because it will search the Jaguar, the animal, speed of car, speed of an airplane. But when you use the search operator hyphen car, it will only search the car, Jaguar, its speed, and the car. Next slide, ma'am. There are so many search operators that you could use. You only need to PGI it. Meaning, what's PGI? Please Google it. Madami yan. You could utilize that, especially if you are searching for a specific individual, a specific file type, you can use search operators. Huwag masyadong punch in kagad tayo. Okay, next slide, ma'am. When you have already decided to refer a case with us or with the police, these are some of the things that you must review. Review your lost laptop policy, access control, redundancy, search policies, password retention, remote access permissions. Why do you need to review this immediately? Because these are the things that we're going to ask of you. And because of the limited resources that we have and the limited manpower that we have, we will really appreciate it if you are already prepared with these policies and you already know this by heart. Let me give you a hint on how many agents and special investigators that we only have with the NBI. If all the Filipinos will be filing a complaint with us, each agent will be handling 96,000 cases. So you calculate that because I am not allowed to tell you the number of agents that we have. But again, if all the Filipinos will be filing a complaint with us, we will be handling 96,000 cases for that moment. So even in the investigation of cybercrime, it is not all technical because people commits fraud, people commits crime. It's not the machine, it's not the internet that commits crime. It will always be people who will be committing these offenses. So circumstantial evidence plays a very important role in creating a case against your employees. So you must identify the person of interest. You must theorize on possible motives of those employees and try to find out unexplained resignations, immediate resignations. Because after successful exploits of employees in defrauding the company or stealing from the company, those employees have the tendency to resign, especially if they know that they are about to be discovered. Next slide, ma'am. What to bring? Be prepared because we have experienced some call center businesses referring cases with us with nothing. We still need to tell them that you need to bring this, prepare for this. And it will take time. When we investigate cybercrime, time is of the essence because digital file footprints could easily be erased. It could be recovered, but very difficult and time-consuming. But when you are prepared with all of these things, we could hasten up the investigation. Next, ma'am. Can you go back to that slide, ma'am? You should be equipped with board resolution to give you legal personality to represent your company, secretary certificate, or special power of attorney when you are representing a single proprietorship. Please be prepared with all of these documents. Next slide, ma'am. In case of suspected penetration or hacking, immediately consult your IT administrators. And if you have available consultants who could do immediate audit to determine whether there was an attempted hacking or there was a successful hack, utilize them. Do not rely on law enforcement alone. Again, because they do not have the time and manpower to do this. And at the same time, if you engage the services of private consultants or private auditors, you could confine the issue within your business. The possibility of an incident being reported to the public is very high when you already refer it with law enforcement. So, consider this information whenever you encounter cybercrime within your company. Do not immediately refer the incident to law enforcement. Okay, what to bring, IT policies, as we have mentioned, and resumes of persons of interest that you have already identified. Next slide, ma'am. This will be my last slide, actually. Although we are living in a virtual world, employees commit crimes, people steal money, people steal information. Do not forget this. And remember that